Oh boy. Where does that? Yeah. Very fitting entrance for what we got coming up here, man. Oh baby. Blachowicz, Adesanya, let's go. Let's go, man.
I'm pumped.
Oh man, this guy's going to be double champ, looking to be the best pound for pound fighter in the world. You know, Blachowicz is gonna have something to say about that.
100%
title for light heavyweight. Oh my God, what a dandy this is gonna be, man. You know, preview this one for me a little bit. Get me hyped about this one.
Yeah, so I mean, like, here's the best thing that we know about Adesanya, right? Like, he knows how to pick, like, he can pick his opponents apart. I don't think he has any issues weightlifting and getting to this weight class. He seems to be perfectly fine with it. The one thing I'm very scared of for Jan is you just can't be flat-footed against this man. Let's break this down a little bit.
Nope.
I think Kelvin Gastelum, even Robert Whittaker have landed some good strikes against Israel. You know, Israel is just the better striker without question, but they landed. Kelvin Gastelum, you know, whatever, you know, shaman he went to see or whatever voodoo doll he was playing with during that period in time, you know, he was just an out-of-body experience. Is such an incredible boxer in that fight, and he touched him up really well. So for me, when you compare all of these guys, what's the difference? Paulo Costa. That man, I don't even want to belittle anyone. This is, you know, love of my life sport kind of thing. But let's be real. That was a demolition. That was a technical demolition. In terms of making someone look stupid without doing anything, Israel did that. And unless you paid attention to his hand movements, his head movements, those little things, like if you go in there and just count, you'll think this man is twitching if you slow-mo it. But like, he is just playing with Costa, moving his legs around, of not letting Costa line up exactly what he needs to start throwing. And you can see it. Every time Costa went to get his feet in the right spot, Israel moved. Every single time that Costa tried to get comfortable in a spot where he could strike, Israel moved. Israel did not let this man get to the one place that he needed to start executing. That's how good he is. Now, go back to the fights we just touched on, right? You really do have examples of where he does get touched. A guy who was fighting at welterweight, who moved up to middleweight, and is not very close in terms of reach and size, touched him up real good. How? Gastelum is quick, man. Gastelum's got the ability to change levels better than most because his striking is getting so good. So at the end of the day, when you're watching him being able to leap in and out on these guys that are, you know, the 185ers, it's funny, but he might actually belong in this weight class. He just can't cut that low. He doesn't enjoy it. It makes him worse in fights. So if you're able to touch up Israel Adesanya for 4 or 5 rounds like that, I mean, all the power to you, man. So the way I see it is, Jan, take a look at some of these guys. I know you're not going to be able to move like that per se, but don't stay on those legs. Don't stay so flat-footed. Israel's going to pick the right setup of kicks to just damage that leg apart. He will kick that. If that leg is sticking out, it's just going to be the primary thing. And Israel loves to attack the same spots, right? So he's going to see that leader sitting there, and it's just going to be boom, 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 boom. And then all of a sudden, Jan's going to lose that power shot. And I think that if you really consider what Israel is good at, the last thing you want to be is on one leg with 4 more rounds to fight, and the fight always starts standing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it best. Israel finds ways to break down his opponent, right? And someone like Jan, where he doesn't want to deal with that power and stuff, that's a great way of doing it, right? Focus on that, like, continue to break it down till he can't walk on it anymore, and then you can execute however you would like, right?
Exactly.
You know, the one thing I kind of wanted to touch on with Jan in his last loss, right? It was against Santos, who we're actually going to see earlier on the card. And man, even in that one, like, Jan seemed to be dictating, right? And Santos looked like he was kind of falling back, but then caught him, you know?
It's so funny, but that's how good of a striker Santos is. He just seems to make those opportune strikes. And I think Jan learned the hard way that you just can't rush in like that, even, you know, when you seem to have thought everything through, because, you know, anything can happen. And I think that he proved that against Dominick Reyes. How I thought he could beat Dominick Reyes, because we called that fight, was primarily from Dominick Reyes not being such a good, you know, mobile fighter. Jan was the better striker. Jan actually had the better movement. He was just the better boxer, right? And so in this case, unfortunately, Israel Adesanya might be the best kickboxer in the UFC. Yes. You know, this isn't
ever,
just
ever.
I mean, for the Evers is just a crazy thing, but there's a chance. There's a very good chance he is, man. And for me, it comes down to: are you going to try to take this man down? Probably not. But how are you trying to get in on him? Because you're definitely not distance striking with Israel Adesanya. It's not happening. I think the speed factor alone will be an issue. But again, if the power comes into play, clinch play, that's where you're going to have to really try to, figure out this puzzle that is Israel Adesanya. Because let's be real, he is one of the few fighters where if we wanted to give you a way for one person to beat another person, it's actually the hardest thing to do, because his 86% takedown defense tells me that people tried and he just doesn't give a shit. Mm-hmm. And what his 0% takedown accuracy and 0% takedown average for 15 minutes tells me is he ain't trying to go down nowhere.
Nope, absolutely not, man. And, this guy, man, he is just impressed on all ranks, man. Ever since kind of Silva passed him the torch, he's just taking it on to a new level, man. And it's a beautiful thing to watch, man. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's so funny because there's so many people in between those two getting the fight or getting the belt. But in a way, you're kind of right, because it does come down to longevity and how long you stay the champion. But it's so funny. But I would say the middleweight division before Israel really came into light as a title contender was very much this fun-loving, like, classic case of, oh my God, am I watching Bisping beat Rockhold in what is the greatest storyline MMA has ever seen? Oh, wait, is that GSP making a comeback to beat said Bisping in a title fight? What is even happening? You know what I mean?
Insane, man. Insane. The names we've seen go through this division are just a thing of beauty, man.
And now they're going back up to light heavyweight for this one because Israel has to go up.
Well, yeah.
And it's not like Jan is ever going to be able to go down. So for me, it's like you ask a guy like Krylov was asked the media day scrum for this fight, do you think it's fair as a light heavyweight for him to go and get the belt?
The title,
I'm pretty sure Glover might have a different answer, but Krylov was like, yeah, man, at the end of the day, this man's earned it. He really has proven his worth at his own weight class to the point where, sure, come and take a stab.
There's no one else, Mm-hmm. There's no one on his level in his division. So This is cool, man. I'm really excited to see him, kind of try and take that double champ. Very, very cool. Not something we see very often in the UFC. So I'm actually very curious to see where you think the line ends up. Because
I'm going to go with Israel minus 275, baby. Let's do it, baby. Israel minus 275.
Let me finish.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, I was going to say Israel as well, probably at a minus 200.
Okay.
I did think it might be a little closer, given Blachowicz is the champ. Mm-hmm. Let's see here.
Yeah, the thing is, you have to. Whatever. He can't be a.
No, go ahead.
I just don't think he can be a 300 favorite. But at the end of the day, between minus 250 and minus 300, you have to tell yourself again. You give me anything Israel Adesanya at minus 200 to minus 250, I'm probably parlaying that with some snooker game that's happening in some random ass. You give me Israel at a minus 180, I'm just going to ask my wife if we can just take everything and just wait. Let's just take the chance and see what happens, right? So that's where for me.
That's line of credit things right there.
Yeah, you just have to tell yourself that no 300, but that minus 250, minus 300 makes sense. So minus 275, baby. Give me something. Give me something.
You're close. It's in between our two lines. It's minus 250.
Right there. Okay. I wonder what the opening line was too, because I always thought that line could see the 300s, but would always move down. Because I don't think the line could ever move up past that. But I wondered if that line could have been 300, even close to like on the dot, and then move down. Because it's just one of those things where how can Makhachev garner that kind of a consideration against a Drew Dober, but then an Israel can't gain that against the Jan. So there's also a lot more to look into. I guess what meets the eye. But like I said, man, as long as Jan doesn't look flat-footed there and is keeping his knee just out there for Israel to just keep attacking and find the same spot, the same oblique kick to go over and over and over again, like all those little things, like it's what he needs to avoid.
Yeah, he does have that finishing power. We know this, right? And so this will probably be some of the most power Israel's seen. All right, and so that wraps up UFC 259. Man, what a treat that was. Discussing it with you. I cannot wait to watch it. It's going to be a beauty. Make sure you don't miss this one. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button. All our information is below. Always a pleasure, Siraj. This one was extra special, man.
My man, it's one of the best cards we'll probably see this year, maybe for a very long time. So I'm glad all these guys can on there. Let's just hope they stay healthy.
All right. Take care, my brother.
Peace.